Hey, people, listen. Welcome into the building. I'm so glad to see all y'all. Happy y'all here. Thanks for stopping by. It's Monday night. You know, Mondays come so quick now. It's Monday night trending topics, and we got stuff to talk about. Yes, we do. Tonight, title is where am I at here? Oh, wait a minute. What happened to my title? What a day. How did it get all backwards and discombobulated and everything else? Uh-uh. My thing, I gotta fix my title later. Anyway, it's trending topics, and the title is What a Day. The title is What a Day. So, it's only two stories tonight. They trash Kendrick Lamar's performance. But y'all know y'all beat me down over here. Y'all beat me down over here. And listen, not because I didn't think Kendrick Lamar was worthy or not worthy, but I said to y'all, Lil Wayne is from New Orleans. Lil Wayne pleaded, he cried with y'all, he begged y'all to let him be the halftime performer. Y'all trashed Lil Wayne before he even got a chance to say a note or come out on the stage and do anything. You trashed him. And he poured his heart and soul out to you. Now the people, can y'all name some Kendrick Lamar songs for me and not just They Not Like Us? Can y'all name some? The Kendrick Lamar songs. Name them in the chat for me. Okay? Because, Lil Wayne, all he said is because he from New Orleans, let him be the halftime performer and stop making this thing so political. But no, everybody said, no, Kendrick Lamar. And now the people was underwhelmed by his performance. We're going to talk about it. His outfit, it did not hit the mark. And can y'all be truthful? Can y'all be truthful even though you like him? Did that outfit hit the mark? Did he do anything different than the people that came before him? Now, y'all know I'm 54. I'll be 55 next month. Let me tell y'all something about my generation. And I'm a maybe hit the number 40 and above. 40 and above. When we got invited to places and we were entertainers, the people did the darn thing. You was talking about the show for weeks. Do y'all remember that show? Was it the Grammys? I don't know which one it was. And Michael Jackson moonwalked for the first time. The people lost their natural mind. Do y'all remember that? Okay. Do y'all remember that? Do y'all remember how back in the day, the halftime show was everything, and you'll be calling your friends after and before, no, girl, turn on your channel now. The halftime show was about to start. And you was talking about it for days. Now I was sitting there at the halftime show. I didn't think it was the worst. I didn't think it was the best. I think his outfit was an F. And those dancers kind of like in formation. We saw it before. Nobody's doing anything different. Now, if you a female, you pregnant, you do the big review at the halftime show. So everybody be like, whoa, she's pregnant. I wanted to go back to the days where the people was original with their stuff. And they gave us a show. Now, the Super Bowl is be on late. Give me a reason to keep my eyes open. To sit up. Did y'all understand what Kendrick Lamar was saying out of his mouth at that halftime show? Can you tell the truth? Talk to me. Can you tell the truth? Now, listen. If you like the halftime show, put a 1 in the chat. If you didn't like the halftime show, put a 2 in the chat. Let's talk about it. Then my second story is, come on, Tiff, it was okay. Then you got Serena Williams. She got 2 kids and a husband, and she twerking. Child, I'm just trying to tell you. Kiara said it was amazing. All right, I'm not going to beat you up. Candy said she didn't see it. You ain't missed nothing. You didn't miss nothing. But we're going to talk about it. Then we're going to talk about this shocking medical nightmare. We have this lady at 25. She was pregnant with twins, went to have her twins, and unfortunately, she lost her twins. She lost her twins, and she almost lost her life to the point where she was on life support. She was on life support, and then, they had to put a feeding tube in her. Well, she made it through, but then they had to give her a hysterectomy. And they forgot the feeding tube in her body for years. Oh, okay. Well, Renee, let's get it correct. Crip walking, twerking. What's the difference, though? With 2 kids and a husband, and you crip walking. So check me, boo. Yeah, let's get it right. She was crip dancing. I mean, either way, it's just crazy to me. So come on now, as E would say, speaking too real and too right. But when I found out, I told you my theme is we don't like the truth. No, we do not. We don't like the truth. Like A Few Good Men. You want the truth, but you can't handle the truth. But back to this young woman who, unfortunately, she lost her twins. She almost lost her life. Then they left a feeding tube in her. And I don't know. I just think that Serena has a brand, and it's like I don't know. To me, it's like stick to your brand. I don't know, but that's me. But I ain't the end all be all. I'm not. So so this woman for years she was having stomach pains. She was living a life of trauma. And then one day she had a colonoscopy and they found it in her belly. She's suing them now. But it literally destroyed her whole life because she's in her 60s. When it comes to Black females in maternity, who's saying girl shut up? Okay, who you saying girl shut up to, Gems? No, not here. Not over here. So you can go. All right. So when it comes to Black females in maternity, no matter how much money you have or don't have, we're often ignored. And so not only does this young lady, she lost her twins. She had to have a hysterectomy. And then they left a tube in her. And then I'm sure every doctor she was going to thereafter talking about her stomach pains or whatever, they probably told her she was crazy. It's very sad. But listen, before we get into this story, let me remind y'all. Hold on one second. Let me remind y'all. Let me go. Where is this at? Let me remind y'all. Lil Wayne, he just asked y'all, can he, he was disappointed that he wasn't selected. Remember, we did this story over here, and none of y'all had no love for Lil Wayne, but I did. Let's listen.
First of all, I want to say forgive me for the delay. The delay on just the delay. I want to say I had to get strength. I had to get strength enough to do this without breaking. I must say thank you. I must say thank you to every voice, every opinion, all the care, all the love, and the support out there. Your words turn into arms, and it held me up when I try to fall back. That hurt a lot. You know what I'm talking about? It hurt a whole lot.
He was hurt.
I blame myself for not being mentally prepared for a letdown. And for just automatically mentally putting myself in that position like somebody told me that was my position. So I blame myself for that. But I thought that was nothing, I thought that was nothing better than that spot and that stage and that platform in my city. And so it hurt. It hurt a whole lot. But y'all, y'all are fucking amazing. It made me feel like shit not getting this opportunity. And when I felt like shit, you guys reminded me that I ain't shit without y'all. And that's an amazing reality. So, like I said, it broke me, and I'm just trying to put me back together. But my God, have you all helped me? Thanks to all my peers, my friends, my family, my homies on sports television, everybody repping me. I really appreciate that. I really do. I feel like I let all of y'all down by not getting that opportunity. But I'm working on me, and I'm working. So thank you.
You're welcome, Little Wayne. I was here for you, my brother. But the people wasn't. But that happens to me a lot over here, Little Wayne. I'm sorry. People didn't want you. So they got Kendrick Lamar. All right. Listen, people. Y'all know what I need in the chat, right? I need a what? I need a choo-choo. All aboard, everybody. It is Monday Night Trending Topics, and the title is What a Day. Kendrick Lamar last night, he performed halftime at the Super Bowl. Some people liked it, some people trashed it. We're going to talk about it. And then we got this woman's shocking medical nightmare that lasted most of her life. And only because she had a colonoscopy, they found that a feeding tube was left in her stomach. What a hot freaking mess. Let's get into it. Let me bring the people on in. Hey, Leo. Hey, Wayne.
Hey, Diva.
Hey, Felicia. Hey, Tay Tay. Hey, Julius. Hey, Love. Hey.
Hello.
Listen, everybody, stay connected to the story at hand, okay? Stay connected to the story out here. We're going to be in and out. Stay connected, and we're going to go with this Kendrick Lamar story first, okay? Now, don't be shooting the messages, so to speak. I'm just giving y'all the word on the street, because that's what we do here. It's called Trending Topics, and the topic is trending. So let me share screen. So Kendrick Lamar had the worst ever Super Bowl 2025 halftime show, says the viewers. So y'all don't be coming at Diva, says the viewers, okay? Now, if y'all want to tell me this is a halftime outfit, okay, he spent more on that jewelry around his neck. They said that jewelry around his neck, one of them cost $1.5 million. You know, at someday our people, we're going to wake up. Kendrick Lamar's 2025 Super Bowl halftime show was branded the worst ever by some viewers as negative reactions to the rapper's performance have been circulated on social media. Lamar's performance has been the main talking point following the Philadelphia Eagles' domination of the Kansas City Chiefs, with the rapper's rendition of Drake diss track "Not Like Us" causing a significant stare. During the show, Lamar got the crowd at the Caesars Superdome to scream a minor in unison after he already addressed Drake and said that his fellow artists like them young. Oh my gosh. Listen, but even though plenty of praise is being heaped on Lamar and his brutal takedown of his longtime rival, many also branded the performance one of the worst in Super Bowl history. Reaction to Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl 2025 halftime show. Many top-rated posts on X featuring, formerly known as Twitter, criticized Lamar's performance, pointing to an apparent lack of reaction from the crowd as evidence that it had underwhelmed the people. Okay, and then somebody said here, Drake seeing people saying Kendrick Lamar had the worst Super Bowl halftime performance of all time. I don't think this is just a little meme. I'll play it.
That's the Pistons' fourth team foul.
Messy. Somebody wrote, I'm sorry, but Kendrick Lamar is so A. I'm sorry. He did good in those diss tracks, but my God, his music sounds like diarrhea to the ear. Nobody is reacting at all live. It sounds so bad, LOL. However, more viewers complain of audio issues during the broadcast, saying that they couldn't hear the performance. In a top-rated Reddit post asking for opinions on the performance, one user wrote, some engineering was A. Had to really blast the speakers to hear any words clearly. Otherwise, solid performance. Camera work, choreography was pretty creative, as expected. And of course, SZA effing devoured it. Not for not, SZA, I thought her outfit was ill-fitted, but y'all don't like to hear the truth over here, but those are diva thoughts. Another user added, the audio was wild. I felt like I needed a transcript to fully enjoy it. But the teasers for Not Like Us and the actual performance of it were great. Amina and Serena dancing were an A++. Kendrick Lamar wasn't the only talked about celebrity after the Super Bowl. The rapper's performance quickly had people searching for details on Serena Williams and Drake's relationship. And Taylor Swift's appearance in support of boyfriend Travis Kelce also made headlines. The post Kendrick Lamar had worst ever Super Bowl 2025 halftime show says viewers appear first on comingsoon.net, movie trailers, TV and streaming news, and more. So they're saying that this was not the only platform that spoke about that. And also one of the performers in his entourage got banned from the NFL. And please don't put all of this in my chat, people. You said, okay, I got to go look for it. Increase matters. But they put up a political flag. I put it like that. And they got banned from the NFL for life. Leo, your thoughts?
Okay, so when I first watched it, it was a lot going on. So I kind of thought it was kind of all right. Like it was okay. More so on the positive side that it was okay. But I really think that in a lot of ways the mic was not clear in some songs. But when you take Kendrick Lamar in perspective, him as a whole entire artist, he is more of a cultural reference when it comes to a lyricist. He has a full surprise for his lyrics. So he is not what you would think as a commercial pop rapper like Drake is or like Lil Wayne is. They do have those kind of hits. But Kendrick Lamar is not that type of person. He is not that type of rapper. And when he first started his set, he said he was brought there to send a message, but they got the wrong messenger. He was not, if you don't understand, he wasn't speaking to that audience. And it is unfortunate. It is unfortunate that he is not a pop rapper. So therefore, the people would not be able, everybody not going to understand what he was doing. Let's just say that. But he wasn't speaking to that audience. His people who understand him understood all the whole setting, the costumes, the dance movement, all of that. So me in my age, it was just okay. But the younger people that I talked to loved
Thank you, Leo. I think, though, a good performer is universal. Is universal, where the young, the old, and everything in between can listen and they like it. Michael Jackson, universal. Prince, universal. Whitney Houston, universal. So to all of y'all out there that's really, really young, if you're in the chat, can you understand what Diva is saying? Sometimes you got to give it up to our generation. We just know how to do the darn thing, and we know how to be universal. Luther Vandross, universal. Tina Turner, universal. Wayne? Diana Ross, universal. Come on now. Go ahead, Wayne. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I watched it I didn't see it during, live, but I went back and watched it. I didn't like it. But the reason I think I didn't like it was because I'm not up on the music. I really didn't understand what they were saying. what they were talking about. Okay, I couldn't understand it. Um, and I think when we're so used to seeing the halftime is like the highlight,
Yes,
big for
come on.
everybody.
Yes.
They put advertisers put their commercials, they pay big money for these commercials to have it during the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, I'm not going to say it was like a bad performance. For me, it just wasn't a performance for the Super Bowl. But this morning, when I started hearing what it was about, what he was saying, okay, I put my judgment aside because they were speaking out and they were trying to bring things to the forefront. Granted, like it wasn't like maybe, for us or whatever, but he was trying to make a political statement, and what's wrong with that? Okay, I'm not going to say the Super Bowl wasn't the right place for it, or was the wrong place for it, but I think just because we're used to seeing the Super Bowl glitz and glamour, we can sing to it no matter who was doing the Super Bowl. It was something you kind of knew, but the only thing I knew from Kendrick Lamar is they not like us. So I'm just saying, I think it wasn't Super Bowl quality, but then again, I don't think they was trying to make Super Bowl like this great like it is. I think they wanted to get a message across, and hopefully they did that. So I'm not going to knock them like it was the worst Super Bowl ever, blah blah blah. I just think is that for me, I didn't know what they were saying. I didn't know what they were talking about. I didn't realize what they were talking about till the morning. So that's my take on it.
So let me ask you, what was his message?
Diva, why you put
I'm just asking. Everybody
No,
saying
he was
great political message. In the chat, people, what was his message? What was his message?
The resilience of the Black community.
Oh, really? Okay, Julius, when I come to you, you got to explain that to me. But what was the message to people in the chat? What was the message? What was the message? He wanted some message. What was the message? Yeah, I saw the people had on the red, white, and blue and represented the flag, but what was the message? Black empowerment in the Black agenda were the message? Was it really? So you're going to sit up there in your performance and talk about another brother, whether he black, white, yellow, orange, I don't know what, Drake is. And so your message is hate? I don't know. What was the message, Savannah? Your thoughts?
I didn't hear that part. I didn't hear that part, Diva. When I saw it this morning, they were saying, because who was it? I heard some people trying to break it down, but like I say, okay, it just didn't resonate with me because I didn't know what they was talking about. I do know some of the things that's going on. They try to bring the front forward, but this thing about Drake and all this stuff, I didn't see all that.
Precious Gems, I love you. I love you. Ride or die, you be coming through. She said it was a whole breakdown. You need to go back and look it up. I'm not looking anything up because I train a lot, right? I trained a lot in my career. When you train, they tell you you're always going to be training a mixed group of people. So you got to meet everybody where they're at when you're trying to train something. Some people are visual. Some people got to read it. Some people got to have hands on. So if you really want to give us a message, you needed to construct that thing where everybody would get the message and nobody would be confused. I have yet to see anybody in the chat respectfully tell me clearly what his message was. That's respectfully. Let's keep it 100. Let's stay woke for real and tell me what was his message. Savannah, your thoughts?
Okay, Diva, I am you and I are the same age. We come from the same generations. We enjoyed some of the same music and artists, but I thought that was one of the best performance of Super Bowl ever. I'm not a big fan of that music, but I immediately caught his message when he started putting all his songs together. I know several of Kendrick Lamar's albums. But I knew Kendrick as being more of a poet, and I was very happy for him to win the Pulitzer Prize, which I think he absolutely deserved it. His message wasn't just political. His message was cultural. His message was on economics. There was so much in there, from having young men and women dressed up in red, white, and blue. First of all, I appreciated that nobody came out on that stage naked with any type of symbols, with any type of message on their shirts. I and SZA, I love her, and I'm so glad that everybody showcased true talent, and they were absolutely um, unified in one message, saying that not only is there a division between races and cultures, but there's also an economic division, and everything that, here it is, Black on a top of his game, the most that song "They're Not Like Us," because it wasn't just "They're Not Like Us." Of course, that song is a diss track to Drake, but there's so many other messages in what he sung and how he wove it into last night. It was just amazing. The top three Super Bowls have always been Bruno, Beyonce, and absolutely Kendrick. He had, I think folks are focusing on the music and not the message. There is, and even with Serena coming out, we all know and Serena and her sisters plight from being young girls as looked at as being ghetto and not belonging in the sport of tennis, and how they had to fight and battle all that racism and hate that they experienced from the tennis culture in itself. And to have, when Serena did the Crip Walk in Wimbledon, and how they came down on her and called her all types of bees and ghetto, and Serena came down last night. I thought that was the cherry on top. When I tell you, that was one of the best performances, from showing Black young men who have built most of this country out there unified in the woven as a flag. And it was just letting them know, no matter how much you try to dismiss us, you extra you they take from the Black culture, every culture they take from the Black culture to kind of make themselves more solidified, but they're always stealing from the Black culture, and they're done. We're not doing. They are. I mean, it was great. I loved it. I thought it was one of the best. They are done. They are tired. That's why at the end of it, his message and lights was game over. We're not playing anymore. You're not going to be stealing from our culture, our music, our lyrics, our books, our poetry. No, we're not. They're not doing it anymore. And I just thought it was about time. This wasn't about even with just. If, I saw one discussion today. Folks were talking about blue and red, Crips and blood. Just Kendrick's music brings them together, unified. There is a message there that we all need to go back and study of what he is saying, and having all those young men and women, with even bringing Scissor up or and Serena up. I thought it was just amazing. And in his attire, I've seen many artists wear that. I thought it was on point. I didn't, you know, this isn't the Prince and Michael Jackson. And the only complaint I have is, I think we have to let um we got to let some of clarity come and play in the Super Bowl every now and then, because I think Jay-Z's been mixed, keeping it straight urban. And I'm not trying, because a few years ago brought J-Lo and them. I was just, they're gonna have to start letting some other music come in, and that's the only complaint I had. But besides that, I thought it was on point. From having Samuel Jackson playing Uncle Sam, and all his what he was saying, it was perfect. I think it was great. I loved his message, and I think he took his time to make sure that it was it was well received. So the people that are hating or don't get it, you really need to go back and study it, what he's saying.
I'm not going to study. Thank you, Savannah. I love you. I'm not going to study a Super Bowl halftime. If your whole life is spent being about it, then when you would have came to the Super Bowl, it would have connected a little better. Just this diva thoughts, right? And I don't know how you doing a song and music and somebody doing the Crip walk, which traditionally the Crips and the Bloods have destroyed neighborhoods, and now we're doing the walk. We the only culture that I know of, I can only talk about my culture, I could be dead wrong, that we take derogatory stuff and then we try to make it seem like it's all good, calling each other the n-word, calling each other bees, and now doing a Crip walk is supposed to be some movement and something cultural, and to talking about game over. All I gotta say is okay. Love, Katrina, you're up.
Um, I oh, let me go here first. I get what he was trying to do. I get the message that he was sending out, but the performance and all that, I mean, we could barely hear him. They should have made sure the engineering was going on. The audience didn't come together with him until he started saying the A minor word. Because normally, you can hear the audience in the back, but I guess they couldn't hear the words that he was saying. So maybe that's the reason why they wasn't interacting with him. But they heard that minor thing um, with that performance. I'm not going to say it was the best performance I ever seen. I can't go there. I really can't because I'd be lying. The best performance I ever seen was Michael Jackson, Prince, Madonna, even Beyonce, Bruno Mars. I'm not saying his performance was not good because I understood when I went back the symbolism of Samuel Jackson being the black Uncle Sam. I get it. I understood when he said right man, wrong man, right messenger, which he was talking about Trump. I get it. But the thing of it is a lot if you're not in tune into what he's saying, it's gonna go over your head. So what I'm saying is maybe he should have addressed that in another way. And by Lil Wayne, no, Lil Wayne couldn't do the Super Bowl halftime. Now I can see you bringing up Master P. You got, maybe Bootsy, somebody that can remember their lyrics. Even bring somebody that was from New Orleans on the stage. But I get what he was doing. It's just certain things shouldn't be done at a certain time. But I get it. I get it. And a lot of people don't get it. So I'm not going to put my views on everybody that didn't get it because I don't want to be judged either. But what I'm saying is maybe he should have did it at a different time. Because when people go to the Super Bowl, they want to jump, they want to have a good time, they want to do this, they want to listen to this, they want to feel, they want to be bumping in the crowd. And my kids wasn't happy with it. They were mad with the Chiefs. They were mad with the performance. And like you said, maybe younger kids doesn't get it or whatsoever, but they was mad. They didn't like it. I'm not gonna say I didn't like it. It's just that they didn't like it, and I had to go back to listen to everything that he was saying. But sometimes symbolism is not what you want to really, really hear at a Super Bowl. So don't come at me in the chat. I'm just saying people want to be bumping. And then Diva, you remember Snoop Dogg did the Crip Walk as well with Dr. Dre. So I mean, it
We're,
just
we're, we're talking Snoop Dogg, who just he called people. That's a bad example. Bad example. You're talking Snoop Dogg, who called people jigaboo, and then he comes back and he do the same thing that he. So that's a
yeah.
bad example, Katrina. But I love you. I still love you. But that's a bad example.
But no,
Juice,
no, no. I'm just saying. We know when he did it, everybody loved it. You see what I'm saying? When he did it with Dr. Dre, it wasn't no backlash on it. That's what I'm saying on that part. That's why I brought that part up. Because when he did it, they said that was the best, one of the best Super Bowl or halftime show it was. That's why I'm just bringing that up to let you see that. But in that point in time,
yeah.
with Serena doing it, maybe she should have came out and did something else. Oh no, she got fined for doing the sea walk, doing her thing, and maybe she just should have came out and showed herself and standing under the street light, as me and what's Colin said earlier today. Because she dated Drake and SZA dated Drake, and they was making symbolism against him. I mean,
Listen,
she
we're
didn't
gonna
have to
move
do that.
forward.
You
We're
know what I
gonna move
mean?
forward, Katrina. See, the whole thing was a circus when you look at it. It was a circus. So you wanted to stick it to Drake. So that's why you made sure SZA came through, Serena came through. It was stupid. So people want to tell me go back to look. I hold back a lot of my comments here because I know y'all don't catch on to what I'm saying until 13 articles later and 55 videos, right? So, but what I'm
Get it.
saying is, what point are you trying to make when your real point was you want to stick it to this person you don't like? If you doing something really political and you saying we need to come together, that's come together with everybody. That's the only way the world's going to win.
That's what I was saying. It was the wrong time for him to do that message that
So,
he was
so
sending
then
out.
at the end of the thing, it was an epic fail. But I
Yeah,
got
that's what I was saying.
yeah,
It was
yeah,
the
it
wrong
was
time.
an epic fail. Yeah, Julius, your thoughts? The Ultimate TV, I'm glad you connected with me. We on the train solo, you, me, Charlie, and maybe a couple others. But hey, Julius, your thoughts?
So I do have to say, and I have to be honest, his message was lost in the shenanigans with Drake. Now, Drake is biracial. I am biracial. And so his message about the resilience of the black community and where we came from in the slave time was lost in the petty rap beef. That's what was lost in it. Now, I understood about the message about the resilience and where we came from, but where he lost it was then it turned into all about Drake. And Drake, you like him young. That's where he lost it. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't watch. I didn't watch the performance. I seen it afterwards, and y'all know I am a history buff, and I say it like I see it. Now I know rap beef's always been a thing, but Diva, I'm a little bit on the train with you tonight. Like I understand the message. However, why bring the beef up if you're trying to deliver a message?
Come on now, let's talk. Let's talk
Now,
that talk.
he had every right to bring a message to Trump. I mean, who wouldn't? He had every right. But where he dropped the ball is doing the petty little kid stuff. He should have just stuck to the message.
He ain't
That's
ready.
it. That's all.
Thank you. He ain't ready. He's still a Toys R Us kid. Listen, and so here we are talking about Drake like him young. Most of those entertainers like him young. Wasn't it?
That part. There's
What's
a
the
whole
guy that
list of
owns the
them.
team? He's 50 something. How old is he? And his girlfriend is 25. I mean, we're doing what here? We're doing what? And everybody's like, you know what? Let's Diva look deeper. No, I look deeper. The team owner girlfriend just came out the womb. He looked like he could be her father or her grandfather. And you want to talk about how Drake like him young. Yeah, she's 25. She an adult, but she's still young. He double her age. So a lot of them like him young. But we're going to keep that quiet and act like the elephant's not in the room. All of those, thank you. That would be Bill Belichick. Thank you, Tara. Let's do this here. All of them be up in these, well, I can't say all. Let's say most of them be up in these DMs of these Instagram models. Young with the big booties. There was an NFL player. He just got caught up. I saw it on Tasha K. Caught up all in somebody's DMs and he married. So, okay, we could say fine. We could play with numbers and say that's not a child. She's still young. 25 to me is young. I got nieces that age. But if we're going to do that so we can disagree, we can't disagree, that's fine. But either way, he's not the only one that like him young. Tay, your thoughts?
I'll go be honest, I didn't watch it either. That's all, Diva.
I appreciate you. Thank you, Tay. Felicia, what's up?
Well, good evening, everybody, and thank you, Diva, for having this discussion. I'm moved to know that this was now about my culture, I think. I'm not sure. Okay, so I watched it. The audio I thought was horrible, so no, I didn't hear a lot of it. The visuals were very nice. I've seen it done before. The lighting I thought was crappy.
Come on, talk.
Felicia,
before you finish, you called me. You called me, and you said, "What do you think?" And I ain't trashing. I said it was all right. It was all right. But do I think it was this deep message? No, I do not. But I just wanted people to know that you called me, and I said, I was cleaning my floor while I was watching him, and I didn't even have to stop. Goodbye. Go ahead, Felicia.
I thought the lighting was bad. I watched it on a pretty good television.
Come on now. Good. Come on now.
I don't know what was up with the Gap light blue jeans. I didn't get it. The man is short, and I kept trying to figure out what's happening here. I've seen Kendrick perform many times, and that was not his finest performance. And I'm not saying it was the worst ever in Super Bowl history, but when I'm hearing about, all of these messages, it's about taking back the culture. It's about what? Taking back what from whom? For 3 days, there was a big discussion as to whether or not New Orleans' own homegrown legacy was going to sing the Negro National Anthem.
You better talk.
Come on now, Dee. Let's talk about it now. Let's talk about it. Written by James Weldon Johnson over a century ago. That no matter how many times many of us of the culture, when we hear it sung, we are moved from our roots to our spirits, to our hearts, to our ancestors.
Come on now.
Understanding the battle. We were in New Orleans, the primary home of the slave trade. And I'm getting a message about my culture. If I need to watch the Super Bowl halftime, me personally, I'm watching it for entertainment. I don't want to be there with a Google search engine trying to interpret what you're trying to tell me.
You better talk.
Okay, I want to hear you perform. I know Kendrick can do better. I've seen him do it better. So I'm listening, and then hey, I'm calling my adult kids. Hey, what mommy looking at? Well, there's messages there. Okay, so what am I listening to? The audio's bad. And who's this black guy they done threw down, got in a chokehold over here in the corner? Oh, bad situation. Probably gonna get locked up. I mean, that's the culture? Really? I heard so many negative comments about that incredible halftime show that I thought was incredible. That was historical, that was lovely, that was entertaining, of Mrs. Carter just recently. How that woman got trashed for putting on something so elegant, so well polished. The cameraman never lost her. The lighting never dropped. Her performers were all clothed. Yeah, okay, yeah, the people wore clothes. Is that what it's come to?
Come on, you better talk.
And I did speak about this with Katrina, and I'm going to take it a little slower, if I may. For how many years, decades, have we women been put under a street lamp on a street corner in a short skirt to sell ourselves? And it ain't about no crip walk. It ain't about no twerking. She is a legend. She's a mother. She's overcome so many challenges.
Come on.
I remember when Beyonce paid homage to she and her sister. She went back to that beat down tennis court in Compton and had those princesses out there performing. Because she dated some alleged person that didn't treat her well, we're supposed to accept her underneath a street lamp in the dark with a mini skirt on?
Come on.
Stop insulting my culture
Come
and
on
my
now.
history. No, it went over my head, all of the messages. And I happen to love Euphoria. Why? Because it's an old Teddy Pendergraft's Philadelphia song, background song. So yeah, I get it. But other than that, no. And it wasn't the worst, it wasn't the best, and it wasn't about my culture. I'm done.
And honey, and you did it well. And and listen, if nobody else say it too, I'm gonna say this, amen. Because over here we got to educate for real, for real.
Hello.
For real, for real. In my opinion, you're up.
Listen here, I always have to go behind Felicia and she preached a sermon over here. Let me tell you something. First of all, I ain't seen nothing special about it, okay? And when y'all tell me, oh, this is about the black culture and stuff, and you got to go back and watch it. If I got to go back and watch it 2 or 3 times, your message ain't clear.
Oh.
You ain't teaching me nothing. Because we didn't have people to come out and do something that make you want to feel like you want to change something. Let's not forget Michael Jackson set up there so we are the world. Okay, listen here. First of all, if you're going to do something like that, you're going to have to be honest with yourself and dig deep. You're going to have to portray that message. You know you ain't got but 17 minutes. You better portray it in them 17 minutes. I ain't finna watch it 2 or 3 times because it was crap the first time. And I tried to give you leeway on it. I couldn't hear nothing. It looked at a hot mess. I don't know what they did. I think they was trying to embarrass this boy. I really do. Because I do like Kendrick Lamar. I do. Okay? He's one of my husband's artists or whatever. So I hear his music all the time. I'm not a big fan of him, but I do hear his music. Some of it is really, really good. I just felt like for the stage that he was on, the performer that he is, and this is what we got, it was bad for his rep. Because this didn't show him as a Grammy Award winning artist. It didn't show him as a great artist, and it didn't show Super Bowl quality.
Come on now, you better talk.
Now, you know what? I'm glad y'all felt like it was great and it was all this, and y'all felt it. I'm glad. Guess my old behind didn't feel it, okay? Because I'm gonna tell you, I watched it one time and I was like, this is trash. So everything that y'all seeing, I didn't see. But I'm glad y'all got the message. So y'all could bring it to me. And even when y'all bringing it to me, I still don't understand it. Because I put Serena on a higher level than what I saw. And if y'all saying she was reenacting what happened in Wimbledon, that ain't what I saw on the stage. It ain't.
I appreciate you, in my opinion. E, you're up.
Well, excuse me, I'm getting over the flu, but I had to come and I have a few thoughts. Sometimes we do have to watch something more than once in order to get it. And sometimes messages mature over time. And it's all about the lens. And no matter what the message is, people have to be ready and open to receive the message. And I just feel like Savannah was talking too real and too right. People have mentioned the sound and lighting issues. And I agree with, in my opinion, it seems like they were trying to sabotage him. But nevertheless, the show was more culturally relevant than Usher's last year. It's true. Usher was so surface and over-sexualized and completely overrated. And the only thing Usher brought last year was the choreography from 2003 and the expensive cherries from Target that had already been touched. I'm with Leo. It was bigger than music. Kendrick is a poet. He is a storyteller. And his performance, considering everything that has been going on politically, it was right on time. As soon as Samuel L. Jackson came out dressed as Uncle Sam, and we saw all of those black male dancers being dressed in all red, white, and blue. And then we had the prison yard scenario. Everything about it was making a statement. And sadly, I hate to be the one to say it, but being black is not universal. I don't know where we got this idea from. This is not a universal thing. If being black and black music was universal, then the country music people would not have threw a fit last week with Beyonce. It's not universal, which is why we see less brown singers and less natural body brown singers like Anita Baker and Brandy and Deborah Cox in the media. And we have more cookie cutter, racially ambiguous R&B girls like Janae Aiko, Tyler, and whoever else. This is why there was all this outrage. Last week we talked about it here. And no, when it comes to black music, we're tired of watering it down. To make it universal, to make it more easily digestible for non-black listeners, and even some black listeners who just don't get it. Kendrick Lamar has he has a street side to him. And if the street culture is too bold and too loud and too direct for some to digest, they have to stay on the sidewalk right now. They got to get off the street because we're drifting away from this MLK message about, oh, we need everybody and we need to join together, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. No, we're shifting to Malcolm X right now. And this is, I want to circle back to Samuel L. Jackson starting it off with the monologue, which represented a sanitized version of America, because we already know the people are saying they want to whitewash things in a way and bring in South Africans, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. And what Samuel L. Jackson said it. He said, too loud, too ghetto, too reckless. They're trying to control black artists. This is the same message Beyonce was giving. This is what it is. And Serena being up there was every single thing. She was supposed to be there in her blonde curls and her blue outfit. And there's nothing degrading about a miniskirt, if you ask me. When you make a living running back and forth on the court in a miniskirt, this is just an everyday thing. It was nothing trashy about it. She was fully covered, even as a mom. She looked good up there, and it was a moment. And from every person who filmed it, even when I saw it, I was cheering, but from every reaction on Instagram that I saw of people who filmed it from these Super Bowl parties, everybody cheered when they saw Serena. It was none of this backlash until the non-educated black men got on their soapbox the day after today and started complaining, oh, that was my woman, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. Well, Serena's not your woman and she's never going to be your woman. Let's move forward. A lot of famous people from Compton have crip walked on stage. Nipsey Hussle, Corrupt, even Beyonce, Kelly, and Michelle crip walked on stage before. It's not gang related. This is a symbolized, when you're on the West Coast, sometimes that's your way of paying homage. This message was loud and it was unapologetic in front of all of those MAGA supporters in the crowd and in front of Donald Trump in the audience and all of this DEI nonsense and everything that's coming up. Yes, Kendrick took a stand, and when he got to performing, the lights lit up in the stand and it spelled warning, wrong way. He's letting us know. And for the people who could not see due to the lighting on the television, or the people who could not hear, I'm telling you that the message was there and I caught it the first time. He was letting us all know we're on the brink of a colossal fail. And I was proud of Kendrick getting up there with his chocolate self and his chocolate dancers. This is not the time for us to come together as one, because we tried to do that on November the 5th. It's too late now. He's given us a message that, hey, do not water yourself down. Do not get on the sidewalk. Be who you are. And even if they don't get it, take it to the house.
I appreciate you, E. So someone in the chat mentioned another content creator and said that they breaking it down over there. Don't do that. I don't mind, giving content creators a shout out, but don't do that in my chat. Like, if that's where you want to be, go over there, right? So, and if I'm not saying the message that anyone likes, then, go over to where you're hearing the message that you like. But I often know that when I say something, it's ahead of the time. And then later on, everybody comes in and there's like, oh, okay, yeah, Diva, you was right. Let me just say this. People are saying that we're moving from MLK to Malcolm X. All I can say to that is, wow. What was her name? Who did peace? The name is slipping my mind right now. She said, if you're going to go to a rally of hate, don't call me. But if you're going to go talk about peace, then call me. Hold on one second. I don't think we're weird for thinking that Serena is glorifying the game. I think so here's the thing. Because we don't agree, right?
No, somebody put that in the comments, Diva. She's not talking about y'all. Somebody said that in the chat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so here's the thing. Here's what's wild to me. We can agree to disagree. The beauty of a panel is everybody don't have the same thought process. But I want to say this right here. When it comes to, Felicia said it best. There was this whole controversy whether the Black Anthem was going to be sung or not. Nobody stood up. I didn't hear the Black people talking about, no, let this song be sung. Nobody stood up. When was that Colin Kaepernick got on his knee? Nobody backed him. To my understanding, he's still jobless to this day. So I feel like we woke, but we not woke. We full of crap, right? When it really matters and it really comes down to it, nobody backs you, but a performance is done, and that was supposed to be the end all be all. But when it comes for real, okay, you don't really stand up for what's right. What's his name? He's been taking people to the Costco every week to buy the groceries. Okay, it's just like, it's one thing to say something. It's a whole nother thing to really be behind it. And yes, I don't watch the Super Bowl for nothing political. So now one of his dances, Kendrick Lamar is about that life, right? One of his dances is banned from the NFL for life because he put up a political flag. Have you heard Kendrick come behind him and back him up? If he has some political message to teach us all, I'm not hearing that he's saying, why are you abandoning my dance, or whatever the case may be. It's the foolery for me. And I don't care what nobody say. Violence is never the answer. And not only that, when you have something that has torn down our communities traditionally, and we're glorifying it, I can't get with that. Yeah. And then you have that other girl, Cassette Michelle. We banned her for life. It's the foolery. It's the foolery. And then we want to say, oh, he has such a message. I said, because I've trained darn near my whole career, I have trained people. If the people you trying to teach didn't get the message, then you got an epic fail. If I got to go and watch it over and over and over again so I could catch the message, then you got an epic fail. When you got however many minutes, what was it, 17 minutes? If you really going to make an impact, when people finish watching it, they should have been like, I'm talking to everybody like, oh my God, did you see that message? He did the darn thing. But people are conflicted. And if the truth be told, you could barely understand the words that was coming out of his mouth. But you know what, though? I'm going to move forward, okay? I don't think training is training. If you're an artist, they train you how to use your voice. Training is training. Training is universal. At the end of the training, whether you a model and I got to teach you how to walk the runway, whether you an artist and I got to teach you how to sing and get those high notes, don't matter. Training is training. The impact of training is, and how you know you were successful training a person, is whatever you train them on, at the end of the day, they went out there and did the darn day. If you a football player and you teaching somebody how to play football, basketball, I'm going to move on. We got to agree to disagree, and I'm going to move on. I think it has nothing to do with whether I like Kendrick Lamar or not. The performance was not epic. It was hard to understand him. Yes, I saw the colors and the red, white, and blue and all of that other stuff. He had a performer that went rogue, because part of the rules for the performance is you don't make it political. We love to break the rules, but then you're going to break the rules and you're going to break your pockets. I'm moving on. Let me go. This last story, a woman's shocking nightmare. She had twins. She lost the twins. She almost lost her life. And then they left a feeding tube in her. Let's get into this story.
After finding out a feeding tube from more than 3 decades ago was never removed. April Preciado joining us live with the details. April?
The woman says the feeding tube caused her pain for nearly 35 years. Deborah Lowe fights back tears.
I was 25 years old. That's my whole life.
As she reflects on the last 3 decades.
It's like wicked me. Yeah. And should no one have to go through that?
Lowe was hospitalized in 1989 at Mount Sinai Medical Center in Milwaukee while pregnant with twins.
As a result of such, had a troubled pregnancy that resulted in having a hysterectomy and having to be put on life support.
She says they inserted a feeding tube, but it was never removed.
From 1989, it was difficult for me to do things. I like to work out. I like to walk. I couldn't do that stuff.
Now she is suing after a surgeon discovered the feeding tube while undergoing surgery in April 2024.
For what we believe is the most egregious example of medical negligence in this state.
Lowe is suing for medical negligence, breach of fiduciary duty, and emotional distress for the damages. We reached out to Aurora Healthcare for comment. In a statement, they told us the following: "We have not been legally notified of the lawsuit and cannot comment further."
And when you don't know what's going on inside of you, you just trying to live day by day.
And Lowe's attorney, B. Ivory Lamar, says he hopes this case will create a meaningful change that will protect future patients from having a similar incident like this one. Reporting live in Milwaukee, Avril Preciado, Fox 6 News.
So let me tell you, because some people saying x-rays, right? There's certain things that x-rays doesn't pick up. It won't pick up. You would have to do exploratory surgery to find it, right? So years ago, I don't remember the exact year, what they did in the OR was on the towels and stuff that they used, they started to put metal rings on them, like little metal rings. So that way, if anything was ever left in someone's body and they did an x-ray, it would pick it up because that metal ring is what will pick up versus the towel or whatever that was left in them. They also have in these emergency rooms when they're doing surgeries they have the surgical nurse that counts the instruments in when the start of the surgery, and they have to count them out at the end, because leaving stuff inside people, unfortunately, is not an uncommon thing. I'm not saying it's so common that there's people that wake up so much that this is in them, but it's not an uncommon thing. And that's why they have implemented stuff to kind of, combat that happening. But just imagine hers happened, over 30 years ago? I don't know if over 30 years ago, they had so many things in place where they made sure and they ensured that this would happen. There's a case, you could look it up, where it was a towel. Imagine a towel wreaking havoc in your body. There was a towel left in a man, and I believe after that particular case, and it was in him for years, and then finally, because he kept begging the doctors, he said, something is not right with me. But every scan they did, they couldn't see it because the towel's not going to show up in there. So anyway, the one doctor decided to do exploratory surgery, and that's when they found the towel in him. And you can look this up. Now they put rings and stuff, on it. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and go. Let me just give you a little bit more. So woman's feeding tube allegedly found embedded inside her stomach 35 years after surgery. They took my whole life. Deborah Lowe filed a lawsuit after dealing with more than 3 decades of pain, which she claims is the result of a feeding tube left inside her body. A Wisconsin woman is taking legal action after learning a feeding tube was allegedly left inside her body during surgery nearly 35 years ago. In 1989, Deborah Lowe was pregnant with twins when she underwent an emergency C-section at Mount Sinai Medical Center in Milwaukee. During the delivery, she suffered several complications, which resulted in the death of her twins and required her to undergo a total hysterectomy at 25 years old. Lowe was then placed on life support for 2 months, during which a feeding tube was inserted, according to court documents obtained by People. I had tubes everywhere, she recorded to Fox 6, feeding tubes everywhere on me. After being discharged from the hospital, Lowe, now 60, began experiencing persistent abdominal pain. Over the following 3 decades, she saw multiple doctors and underwent a number of procedures, but her pain went undiagnosed. It was difficult for me to do things. I like to work out. I like to walk. I couldn't do that stuff, she said. I had migraines, shortness of breath, and my stomach consistently swelled. However, Lowe claims that during a colon procedure in April 2024, her surgeon allegedly discovered the feeding tube from her 1989 surgery was still inside her. Embedded in her abdomen cavity, the news left her in shock. How could they do this? Lowe said during a press conference. Who could make the mistake? This is too much. I shouldn't have to go through this. The feeding tube was left inside for 35 years. That's my whole life, she said, bursting into tears. They took my whole life. I was only 25 years old and I couldn't have no more kids. Now I'm still going through things. I can't do things I used to do. Lowe is suing Mount Sinai Medical Center, which is now Aurora Sinai Medical Center, for claims of medical negligence, breach of fiduciary duty, and emotional distress. Court documents allege that the retained surgical feeding tube was the likely cause of her decades-long abdominal pain and gastrointestinal issues. The presence of this foreign object also contributed to extensive intra-abdominal adhesions, which required surgical intervention. Her lawyer filed the lawsuit on February 5th, accusing the hospital of medical malpractice and gross negligence. He wants Lowe to be rightfully compensated and the medical staff involved to be held accountable during a trial by jury. Lowe's suffering was entirely preventable, Lamar said in a press release. The case is a glaring example of systematic failure within our healthcare system. No patient should endure decades of pain because of a preventable mistake hidden in plain sight. Aurora Sinai Medical Center did not respond to people's requests for comment. The hospital said in a statement to Fox 6 that they have not been legally notified of this lawsuit and cannot comment further. During the press conference, Lamar said that this case is the most outrageous alleged negligence that I think I've ever seen before. I would not want no one to go through this, Lowe added. It's terrible when you don't know what's going on inside of you. You just try to live day by day. Whew. Wayne, your thoughts?
You know, this is unbelievable that this woman could go 35 years. She must have had the Walmart of doctors. I just can't believe in this 21st century that they didn't pick up on something. Usually when the pain is persistent and on, that they got to do something, operate or do something. I don't understand that. I hope she gets, what's due to her through this lawsuit, because initially, they left it in her. But I can't imagine 35 years going through all the pain that she said she was going through for 35 years. I just can't imagine somebody couldn't get help before then, That's it.
Thank you. Savannah, your thoughts?
I'm going to agree with Wayne here. I'm confused on how her body did not cause infections or any type of swelling, because this is a foreign object that has now embedded into her body. It's become part of her body. It's been there for 30 years, so I'm assuming it's been either engulfed by muscle or body fat, or even in her bloodstream. This is just, it's incredible that this type of medical care, but I'm not surprised, especially being that she is an African American woman, at the type of medical attention that she was getting for 30 plus years, because I'm pretty sure that she complained of discomfort and bloating or swelling, and no one was able to detect something I mean, it is absolutely. And how do you put a price tag on the pain that you suffered for 30 years? And did it impede her ability to have children, or?
She had a hysterectomy.
I mean,
Yeah, she had a hysterectomy. So when she lost the twins, they
wow.
had to do a hysterectomy, and she almost lost her life. So she had tubes everywhere, including a feeding tube. But then she survived. But then when they removed all the tubes, they left the feeding tube in her.
Okay, I heard I missed the part of her having a hysterectomy on that. So yeah, it is unfortunate. I just think this is negligence all the way around, and I hope that she can get some form of compensation that will allow her to live a more peaceful and serene life. So
Yeah, thank you. Julius, you're up.
This is big time medical negligence to me. Like, not even like a scope, just to make sure you have all the like utensils out. Like, not they robbed her. Like, I mean, I know she's still here by the grace of God, but they robbed her of other functions of her life. And you want to know what the crazy thing is? Them, that personnel is probably living their lives with their pensions by now, while she still has to suffer. That's the sad part about it.
Thank you. Tay, your thoughts?
I hope she get every penny from that hospital who did that to her right there. First, how you leave that thing in her right there? At first, you should be a doctor. A doctor always makes sure that the patient is good right there. Why not go to the what you call the X-ray? Make sure everything's good in her body. Nope, nope. They say like, nah. Let her. Let her. We ain't gonna do that. I just feel bad she lost her baby and she can't have no children after all those decades right there. I hope she get every penny. Hope she sue them. I hope she get the ones that who retired since they did her surgery right there. That's all, Diva.
Yeah, thank you. Felicia, your thoughts?
Oh my, this is the whole time you were reading, I'm just grunting in pain and just the idea. Because there have been studies done where women of color, black women, you say, I'm in pain, I hurt, it's terrible, blah, blah, blah. And they walk away, and they say, these black women, they can endure so much pain, but she gonna be all right.
Yep. You speaking facts.
Oh my God. And here we are 30 some odd years later. The loss of her children, she could never forget because her belly was always aching and paining and, kinds of psychological traumas going on here.
Yeah.
And did you see the tears in her eyes when she was talking to us? Oh. I'm going to hold her in my prayers and hope that finally now, because she's going to get justice. Maybe not all the justice, but she's going to get some form of justice. That she can start to at least feel better, because I'm confident that the doctor has removed all of that stuff. They said they had to take all those adhesions out, right? He had to go in and cut out all the muscle that had grown around this piece of material and stuff like that. So, God, I wish her the best in 2025, the absolute best. I'm done.
Yeah. Katrina, your thoughts?
Yeah, I feel sorry for her too, but I just got two questions. Feeding tubes are you know, are put in through the navel and the mouth, and it's not a short tube. is a tube that you insert it, and then you have the other part hanging out. And if you're doing it through the mouth, you still have it, you know, through the throat cavity, and it's still hanging out. So I'm trying to figure out, like, she said it was never removed, but you didn't see the feeding tube, because the feeding tube is inserted through your navel, through your mouth, and nobody did an MRI, nobody did a CAT scan, because she's a black woman and they say she can handle pain. But most doctors, when you hurting in your stomach some type of way, they're gonna give you that fluid to drink, and they're gonna do, if she having the pain that she had, they're gonna do an MRI or a CAT scan. And none of that showed up on the MRI or the CAT scan. She had to do a colonoscopy. Why they never did an endoscopy on her if she's having this type of pain? I'm sort of confused because of what I know. Put it that way.
Don't
So,
don't be, don't be confused. This happened over 30 something years ago, and you got
okay.
to imagine that. Unfortunately, even to this day, black people are not believed. The first thing they always, well, I don't want to say always, a lot of them think is we're drug seeking, we
Now that part I do know.
we're
I'm
just
sorry. Go ahead.
complaining to be complaining and stuff like that. So she just so happened that probably have to get a colonoscopy because she's in her 60s. So probably was like the doctor's like, all right, let's just do a routine colonoscopy, and they put cameras in you for that because
Yeah,
they're
because I'm trying to figure out, well, like, what type of doctor she. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Diva.
yeah, they're taking pictures as they're going down, and that's probably when the doctor saw it and was like, oh my god, what is that?
Yeah, because I'm like, if she having that much pain, like I said, like y'all saying, they're saying the black woman is looking for drugs or drug seeking or whatsoever. Because if you having that type of pain, if you got the right type of doctor, and if your doctor didn't tell you to go see a gastrologist, something is wrong. If you sit up and telling the doctor that you having this type of pain in your stomach, and they don't send you to a gastrologist or anything like that, yes, she deserved to get her money. Because I'm still, like you said, it was 35 years ago, but all the feeding tubes that I know, they hang out. They insert it, but they hang out. And through the mouth, they hang out. So that's why I'm
It's several ways you can do it, right? You can do it through the nose, you can do it through their
yeah,
mouth.
through the nose, through the, that's what I'm saying. But but it's
But
still
what
gonna
I'm
hang
saying
out, Diva.
is technology today is not the same technology it was 35 years ago. So
And
all
I
of
know that part
don't know
too.
what type of tube it was that was in her. We don't know what nurse removed the tube when it was time for her to get ready to go home.
Because that's what I'm trying to figure out. Because they have to pull it out unless a piece was left. Like, but still, I don't know. Okay, like you said, it was 35 years ago, and maybe they do things different than what we know or whatsoever. Because I'm a little confused on that part. But I get it. If it was found in there and it was malpractice or whatsoever, I feel sorry for her. I know about the hysterectomy, full hysterectomy thing. I get it. I understand about that part on her too, and what kind of toll it can take on your body, especially at a young age. Because I'm quite sure they had to give her a certain amount of hormones, which was probably too much, and that'll cause another problem. So I hope she get what she deserved, because that's not an easy step to go through. That's not an easy step to go through at all, and I know that personally. So I hope and I pray that she get everything she deserved, especially leaving a feeding tube on. I'm like, what type of nurse were you? What school did you go to? Because there's no way that a feeding tube had the little bubble. Well, anyway, like I said, I hope she get everything that she
That's
deserves.
now, Katrina. Now you got to deflate the water, pull it out, so forth and so.
That's what
You
I'm saying. You have to
don't
deflate the water and pull it out.
technology was back then. You don't know who was supposed to do what and what was the protocol. Either way, it's egregious, but
Very.
you don't know. But if you Google, there's been plenty of people that have stuff left in them after surgery.
Oh yeah, I know. I ain't doubting that. It was one man had a sponge left in.
All kind of stuff left
Yeah.
in.
If
Yeah,
one man had a sponge left in, if one man had scissors left up in him. It's
yeah.
yeah, they have a lot of stuff they done that way, and I feel sorry for her. I really do. And I hope she get exactly what she deserved, because like you said, like Felicia said, everybody else said, black women is never believed when they have pain, because I was one that wasn't believed when I had pain. The only thing they wanted to do was give me pain medication, and I'm on my deathbed. I had just left the doctor office, and he told me that I was fine. I pulled up in my driveway. I couldn't even get out my car. I had to have an emergency hysterectomy and an ectodermy that same night. So yes, black women are not believe. Even though they keep trying to give me pain, I'm like, the pain medicine is not what I want to do. I'm telling you, there's a problem. But yet still they was trying to give me pain medicine for this. And I was on my deathbed. Because if I would have waited any more time, my appendix was gonna burst, and the other symptoms that I had to go through, it was awful. So I get it. I definitely get it, and I hope she get everything that she deserves, because that's not an easy thing to go through, especially when you trust in your doctors and they telling you this and they're lying because they're not doing the full thing. Because if I would have waited one more day, I probably wouldn't have been here. So yes, I get it.
It's your
But that's
instinct.
all I got, D.
Thank you. In my opinion, your thoughts?
So this is the sad case, but the sad part is, how can you pay somebody for taking 35 years of their life and
Yeah.
torturing them? It's not enough money. It's not enough apologies. It's not enough nothing. That lady, early years was taken away from her. She can't get that back. And I can't imagine no amount of money, no amount of I'm sorry is gonna help her get through that. I just pray that she gets the counseling that she needs, and that the money that she do gets from it, she sees some solace in it. Because this got to be a really hard for her to swallow, to know that she was in pain for all these years and her pain went unnoticed, her pain went untreated, and then to find out the same pain that she had to grieve over before was the same pain that was causing her pain years later. It's just sad.
Very sad. So incredibly sad.
A few
Listen,
million to help her start out, though.
yeah,
Yeah,
to let her live the rest of her life in luxury, right? And just to kind of get herself back together.
absolutely.
I'm talking high double digit
Yeah.
million is what she should get. Listen, guys, I appreciate y'all. A very serious story with, a Kendrick Lamar story. And, the thing we got to understand here is that you want to hear different perspectives. We don't want groupthink, right? Because we got to, everybody interprets things differently. But and that's just the way it is, right? So I appreciate y'all for being here and having a conversation with us. If you didn't hit that like button on the way in, hit the like button on the way out. Yeah. But see, you know what, Irene? There's a lot. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm digressing here. But there's a lot of people now. You even hear young people. Years ago, when someone had to have a C-section, it wasn't so common. It's like, I went to this discussion one time, and they was like, why is it now so many females, like, why is everybody like young, old, whatever, like they need a C-section? Like, it just doesn't make sense. It's just incredibly crazy, like the amount of C-sections that individuals have to have these days. It's a lot. Aaliyah. Julia said at least no Diddy story tonight. But listen, guys, thanks for being here. I appreciate y'all. If you didn't hit that like button on the way in, hit it on the way out. Thanks for watching. Very serious story with the woman's shocking nightmare and Kendrick Lamar. There's this saying that goes like, you got to know the right place and the right time to do things. Anyway, good night and goodbye, everybody.
Do not treat the devil straight down.